Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond Loss, Loving Life with Catherine Chaston. As you can see, I'm still not in my loft, but I have moved from Sydney to the Gold Coast. And yes, I am in hotel quarantine until the 22nd of August. So I'm still here coming to you live today, which is amazing. And I have to say, I have been so gifted in hotel quarantine. I have the most amazing view overlooking in between Surface and Broadbeach. I have an amazing balcony. It is so large. I have been truly looked after by my guides in this world and beyond. And of course, my beautiful son, Dan, who passed away over 10 years ago now, and my dad, who passed away like 18 years ago. So it doesn't matter when they pass away, they're always here, they're always guiding you, they're always making sure that you are having the most amazing life. And isn't that what it's about? It's about what we make of it. You know, I did a post on the other day on the Chaston Centre and Karen Chaston Facebook page, and I was actually talking about how two birds came to visit me and how beautiful it was and how it was Dan and Dad. And everyone was like, oh my God, you're so positive, you're so this. And I was like, but isn't that what life's about? Like, we can all go down and we can all be really negative, but life is about us understanding that in every situation, even if it's a perceived negative or positive, there is always a gift for you to receive. And that's what Beyond Loss, Loving Life with Karen Chaston is all about. So today, as always, I'm going to deep dive into something different. But before I do that, let me go to the comments. Please all say hello. Hello, Nicole from Montreal. Great to see you here. Hello, Janelle, and hello, Donna from Melbourne. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And Rhonda from Sydney. And I have spent the last 6 weeks in Sydney, and it is nice to be back on the Gold Coast, even though I'm not back home yet, but I'm not far away. But I have to say, energy, you know, we all can read energy if we choose to. And I have to say, the density of Sydney at the moment, and it's not surprising, like seriously, I don't watch the news, but I could still feel it. And I think the media have a lot to answer for in the way that they really do, what's the right word? I guess spread fear. It's, you know, sure, we have this disease and we have this pandemic and everything, but, you know, if they just stop talking about it, I'm sure there would be less spread of it. It would be so much better for everyone. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that because that's not what I'm about. Life is about balance. We can not experience happiness without polarity. Exactly, Jacina. We are in a world of duality, and it's what we always tend to focus on. Hi, Maria. Great to see you all. Now, everyone, I'm normally here on Mondays, but this Monday I was actually settling in to my hotel quarantine on the Gold Coast, and I didn't really have my big screen with me and all that sort of stuff. I needed my husband to put it around. So if you've never been here before, welcome. I don't do readings as such, but in saying that, I do actually give one card reading, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go full screen on this. So I do one card reading from my Marcia Quinton's channeled spiritual guidance cards, and I highly recommend them if you don't do it. I can't show you the pack because, believe it or not, it is under my camera because I have it all stacked up, whereas normally at home I have a pull-up desk and everything is just so much easier. But you know what? It's really great. Nice to see you too, Karen. Okay, so this is the card that we're going to read today, and it's called The Book of Life. How appropriate is this? And I haven't read it because I never read the cards before I get on. So this is a meaning for everyone. Night, Cat. Nice to see you here. So this is a reading for everyone. It's not just for me. It's for everyone who sees it, whether you see it live or in the recording. So know that this is just for you today. Okay, the Book of Life. Your new journey is unfolding. Yahoo! Isn't that exciting? Today, you have opened the book of your life and it weaves its magic around you. Look and see what your book is offering. Glimpse within the pages. It will illuminate the path more clearly, giving you the key to grasp in your hand. This book will flood your mind with inspiration and show you all the benefits of your journey. All things are within your field of awareness. Hold on tight as abundance flows to you. The book of life reveals many doorways that lead you on other paths. It guides you like a roadmap with clarity and understanding that with this book, you will never be lost. Isn't that an amazing card for us all today? And so often we don't look into the book of life of our pages, and we can, we don't learn our lessons. We don't, receive the many, many gifts from what life has brought to us. Sometimes we just get so wrapped into the negativity of it all that we never actually see the gifts. And that's what I love to do, is I love to help people to see the gifts. So let's get started. Any insights from that today? Let me know. So what we're going to do today is, for most of you, if you haven't seen me before, this is what I love to talk about, that our life's journey, our book of life, is a constant infinity journey where we go from love to loss and then back to love again. And let's face it, when we're in love, isn't life so easy? It's just, you just float along. You wake up really eager for what the day's about to bring you. But then when we get into loss, and it is about understanding the duality of it all, that sometimes we get stuck. We suffer in silence. We go into our avoidance tactics, which isn't good for us at all, because it ends up really affecting our health, our quality of life, and our relationships. But when you understand that you can move quite easily from loss back into love, when you understand the tools, which are some I'm going to teach you today, it really does make life a really easy journey to get back from loss into love. And then you can hang into love for quite a while. And the funny thing is that the more that you actually look for those gifts in your loss, the quicker you'll get back there and the longer that you will be there. So it really is. So there are over 40 different loss events that can affect all of our lives. And I'm going to share you the list because I'd love for you to look at it. So while I'm saying hello to people, have a look at the list of different loss events that can cause you to go into grief and to suffering. And if you look at some of them, many people would actually say, wow, I never thought that was a grief causing situation. No wonder I felt the way I did when that occurred in my life. And no wonder most people didn't understand it. Why? I now understand why they were saying, get over it, move on, you'll be fine. Why are you so down? But when you understand that when these events occur in your life, you can then understand, right, okay, I'm in grief. This is a loss, and I need to take some time to work through this process. And so I can understand that, I need to honor what I'm going through, figure out what the emotion's about, deep dive into the emotions. That is truly the key. So often we push our emotions aside, we shove them down with, food, alcohol, drugs, or working too much, or, just being down on ourselves, shopping too much. Like, let's face it, they call it retail therapy, and so often it really is good for us to understand that when these events occur in our life, it's actually to help us to stop, to deep dive into it, to understand what the emotions are actually telling us. And there is a beautiful process for you to do that. And then you can then look at your life and go, well, where do I want to go from here? What does this mean for me now? What does it mean for me moving forward? And how do I get to where I want to be moving forward? And that's what I love to assist people to do. So while you're still looking at that, hello, Joanne. Marina, watching from Brisbane. Yay, I'm on the Goldie. Good on you. Mariana, great to see you. Natasha, hi. Karen, Oh, thank you, Karen. I really appreciate you saying that. That's a real big one. A lot on there for me. Yeah, Rhonda. There's so many years. I show this list all the time, and I've had people. Oh my God, I'm only 40, and I've had 21 of these. It's really is interesting for everyone to deep dive in and to understand what these are. Um, okay, Natasha. I grew up I'll just bring your little thing up so everyone can see. Sorry, let me go back one. Let me go back one. I want to just bring up, sorry, I just got to get out of here. There you are, Natasha. So let's see. I grew up, let me go here. I grew up in an institute state care homes. I've lost my babies and partner of 8 years to death. I live with a broken heart every day. My heart goes out to you, Natasha. I I feel for you, and my condolences. To lose your partner and your babies is never ever easy. But I'm sure they are with you. I'm sure they've guided you to be here today to talk with us, just to share. And thank you for sharing that. I know that is there. Um, Okay. So, Natasha, if you would like to reach out to me, here's my email address for people. Just email me and just say that you saw me here, and you'd like to connect. All I ask you to do is, if you do email me and we do set up a time, to actually show up, because a lot of the time, I'm more than happy to talk to you for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but I just expect you to show up, because you've stopped someone else from coming in and talking. So that's all I ask, is if you choose to, please do. There's my email address. Hi, Shy Bella. Great to see you. My whole world is currently falling apart, and I feel like I'm grieving too many things all at once, and I'm not sure um, what I can do to stay afloat. Okay. And Wendy, also new here, so need your help to move forward. Okay. Reach out to me. I will also, at the end of the time, actually, I can share it now. I will actually be sharing it's called Revitalize Your Life. And Revitalize Your Life is a 45-day program that I've put together for you to reconnect to you, because so often we get lost in life's journey. We lose our identity, we lose who we are, for so many different reasons. It's just part of the growing up process, and we give away our power, not realizing that we're giving it away. And then we look around and we go, oh my God, I don't know who I am. I look in the mirror, I have no idea who I am. So I created this program called Revitalize Your Life, which is a 45-day program where each day you get a activity from me. You have access to these activities forever. They're in your own little special area on my website. And each day you do this process. And it's all about you reconnecting to you. And because I know that so many people who have lost who they are, they don't know how to invest in themselves. So what I've done is I have purposely made it $45. Yes, you heard right. It's not $45 a day. It's $45 in total. That's $1 a day, Australian. So I really highly recommend that you start on that process, no matter where you are in your life, no matter how lost you are, no matter where you're at. Just start to reconnect to you, because you do have all your answers. And I know you probably don't believe it, but once you reconnect to you, you can tap into your answers, your unique answers, because you are unique. And in doing this process, which takes 45 days, no more than 45 minutes a day. And if you can't find 45 minutes, I'm telling you right now, I have never looked at someone's calendar and not found, 10 to 15 hours a week for them. So you can find 45 minutes, even if you get up an hour earlier, because when you start to deep dive into you, you will be amazed. Karen, it's the Revitalize Your Life program. Let me just bring it up so you can see. Here's the program. It's called Revitalize Your Life. Okay. Here is the link again. It's $1 a day. Each day you will get an activity from me. But normally I talk about this at the end, but it's because everyone has sort of come in going, oh my God, I need your help. I am. So I highly recommend it. But now let's go on and talk about what I was going to talk about today. And then I will talk about this end. Okay. Natasha, my heart goes out to you. Karen, I'm not sure if that was for me or for Shy Bella. No, sorry, it was Natasha. Yeah. Okay. So let's keep going on. Let me just read some more comments while you girls are getting this all sorted out. I am same as Shy. I have a ridiculous amount of things happening and I can no longer cope. Everyone just takes and I feel used, unseen, and unloved. You know, that is a really common woman thing, Beverly. And it is about us setting our boundaries and it is about us learning how to say no. And I know it's not easy, especially when you've been saying yes all of your life. But I want you to think about something for a moment, right? And the thing that I want you to think about is you are the only person that you are going to spend your entire life with. There is no one else that you spend 24/7 with every week of your life. And you have done so from the day you were born, and you will so until the day that you die. And you have hopes, dreams, and aspirations. So if you are continually saying yes to everyone else, then I'm here to tell you that it's time for you to stop it because you're saying no to yourself. And you are never, ever going to achieve what you came here to do if you continue to say yes to everyone else and no to yourself. I highly recommend that you look at the Revitalize Your Life program. It's $45, $1 a day. That will assist you to deep dive in so that you can set your boundaries. There isn't a day that says your boundaries matter. You say no matters. You know, there's so many different concepts that we deep dive into over the 45 days. So I highly recommend that you invest the $45 in yourself and then do these activities. Because when you do these activities, you will realize that you are the most important person in your life. No one else, no one else. Your partner, your children, your parents, your friends. No one deserves your love and attention more than you. So that's why I highly recommend this program. Okay. Thanks, Rhonda. Right. Now let me just see where we're at and then we will continue on. Thanks for interacting, everyone. I love it when I have a lot of people here chatting away. Yes, you may share my Revitalize Your Life, Janelle, with anyone you like. It is open for all people, which is why I purposely set it at $45. Sure, I could have made it 10 times that. But I just wanted people to be able to deep dive into who they are and find who they are. There is another step after that where obviously you can reach out to me and we can work through individual loss. But it's really important for us to start on ourselves. Okay, Melinda, I don't do readings. You may have missed the beginning. I just help people to move beyond any kind of loss and create their better everyday life. So I totally understand if you don't want to hang around, but I also would love you to hang around because who knows what you might do. Hi, Kirsten. Great to see you here. Should I make a move work-wise? Melinda, I don't do readings. It's that simple. Wendy, you feel lost and abandoned. Revitalize your life. Deep dive into it because you will start to realize who you are. I've also shared my email address. If anyone wants to email me, please put the heading in the subject line that you saw me here, and then we can go from there. All I say is if I offer you 30 minutes to chat, please show up. It will be via Zoom. And please don't make an appointment if you're not going to show up. Respect my time, respect everyone else's time, because if I allocate time for you, obviously I can't to someone else. So please, yes, Kirsten, spring is in the air. Janelle, great. I think positivity, which you obviously have, is something we lose easily. It can be, Karen. I totally agree. I do always look for the positive, I must admit. I think I've been like this most of my life. Katie, I don't do spiritual readings. I just tell people how to move beyond any kind of loss and create their better everyday life. Okay, so let's get started because today we're going to deep dive in to the 5 agreements. Now, not sure if you've seen my other 4 episodes on this. Today we're deep diving into the 5th agreement, which is really, really cool. Sorry, let me just get my little clicker working properly. I need to get back to my comments. Okay, here we are. Okay. Okay. Katie, you can keep typing as much as you want. I don't do spiritual readings. Okay. I totally understand if you don't want to hang around. I don't do spiritual readings. Your granny is not going to come through on me. Okay. I just help people how to move beyond any kind of loss. Okay. Thanks, Natasha. Yeah. Anyway, it's fine. I'm here to help people in this realm. Do you know what? I'm going to tell you something because I find it really interesting where people are continually asking for readings and stuff like that. Look, I do it myself, seriously. But sometimes I just want to say that if you want a message from your granny, just tap in and ask her. Like, ask her to show up. She will show up. She may show up in a movie, something that was said. She may show up in the form of nature. She may show up in, a comment that you see on a billboard or a number plate or whatever. Just start to trust. Start to trust yourself because you are able to connect with your loved ones on the other side. Now, most of you know, if you've seen me before, my son Dan passed away 10 years ago. He is constantly around me. He is constantly showing me that he is always here with me. Now, if you saw the beginning of this show, I told you I'm in hotel quarantine on the Gold Coast. I came in on Sunday and I get out on the 22nd. Now, when I arrived, I have this most amazing room. Like, my balcony is 4 times bigger than the balcony next door. And yes, I can poke my head around and see the balcony next door. I know that my son and my father gave me this great balcony. I asked for it. I literally said, I'm coming back. I have a daughter in Sydney. I spent 6 weeks down there with her and I came back. And it was time to come back to to my sons and my grandsons and my daughter-in-laws and my husband and my dog, right? So it was time. So I came back knowing that I had to go into hotel quarantine. But I trusted my loved ones on the other side to give me an amazing hotel. Well, I am overlooking the beach. I have this most amazing view and I am so grateful. But I know that it came because I asked. And I trusted. And I even had 2 beautiful lorikeets rock up. The second morning I was here on my balcony. I'm on the 21st floor. So I just would like to say, start to trust yourself. Okay? You are the master you are seeking. And start to deep dive into your intuition. We all have it. We all so often deflect going, well, I'm not a medium. I don't do that. I can't read it. Start believe that you can, and you can. Like, I do it for myself all the time. And the more that I do it, the more I can say things just out of the blue. And I know that what I'm saying is correct. Okay. And it's just right. Okay, so Janelle, you are your own best medium with those whom you have heart connection with. Totally agree. It's exactly everything I just said. So start to trust who you are. Okay, let's go into the 5 agreements, which is these amazing concepts that I really do believe it was so ideal if we all look at. So the first 4, which I have done on other episodes over the past 4 weeks. Yes, I did do them from Sydney. Okay. Be impeccable with your word. Second, Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions and always do your best. So, what does all this mean? Let me just get over here. Right. Be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using words to speak against yourself or gossip about other people. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. Now, as I read through these, and I'm sure you can read them as well, start to actually think to yourself, am I doing this? Do I speak with integrity? Do I only say what I mean? Or am I actually saying things to hurt people, to bring them down, to ridicule them, to embarrass them in front of other people? And are you always just, how do you speak to yourself? Sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, the way that we speak to ourselves. I like to think that I am my own best friend, right? My best friend is me, and my other best friends are second best friends. And it's really important for us to understand that if we speak to our best friends, sometimes the way we speak to ourselves, how long would they be our best friends for? It's really good for you to start to actually think that and feel into it. Okay, don't take anything personally. Wow, I just love this one. Life is so much easier when you actually, something is said to you and you go, wow, that says a lot about you. So you're not taking it personally. You're understanding that the person has different values, they have different beliefs, they have different things going on in their life. And maybe what they said to you has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's all about them. Nothing others do is because of you. Whatever say and do is a projection of their own reality. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. Yahoo! Sounds perfect to me. Don't make assumptions. Okay. Find the courage to ask questions and express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. And you know what? That is so true. And it's really important for us all to understand this. This one is probably the most important of them all. Don't make assumptions. Then, number 4, always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It'll be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstances, simply do your best and you will avoid self judgment, self abuse, and regret. Pretty cool, eh? So now let's move on to the 5th one, which is be skeptical but learn to listen. Do you know what? Australians are pretty good at being skeptical, but are we good at listening? That is the question I'd really like you all to know. So, what is be skeptical all about? Okay. Don't believe yourself or anyone else. Now, this is an interesting one, and I'd love you to comment as we go along because it's really interesting that don't believe yourself or anyone else. So, what does that mean? Is it the way we talk to ourselves? Is it the beliefs we have? Have you ever questioned your beliefs? Have you ever deep dive into them and actually said, are these my beliefs or are they someone else's? It's really important for us to start to really deep dive into everything that is going on in our life. A few of you here have said that your life is pretty bad at the moment. It's not going that well. Have you started to deep dive into the way that you look at things, the way that you see things, that there's different alternatives? Really important for us to understand this. Use the power of doubt to question everything you hear. Now, in the world that we're in at the moment, this is really important for you to do. It's about you doing your own research, not listening to anyone, because everyone has their own opinions, their own beliefs, their own ways of looking at things. And depending on where they are in their spiritual development, they may even be, buying into all of the fear and all of the doom and gloom and all that sort of stuff, not understanding that whatever happens in the world is always going to happen for the highest good of all of humanity. It's not going to happen just for the few. It's going to happen for all of humanity. And when you live life knowing that whatever is happening at the moment is for the betterment of us, it makes life a lot easier. That's just my perspective. And don't even listen to me. Do your own research. And that's what I've been saying all along. You are the master you are seeking. Really important. And ask yourself, is it really the truth? Is everything I'm hearing really the truth? And deep dive into it so that you can actually go, wow, this is true for me. And you can then start to go, okay, so this is how I want to live my life with believing this is the truth. And when you do, you don't have to convince anyone else. You don't need to, because you're living your truth and you're rolling along having this amazing life, because you're not, diverting and deep diving into all of the latest this or that or all those sort of things. But you have found your truth. And that is all we can do, is live life to our truth. Because listen to the intent behind the words, then you will understand the real message. And so many people's intention is not ideal. So I'm going to tell you a little story. Let me just come over here. Let me get out of there. I get myself trapped. Okay, let me just come over here. Right out. So I'm going to tell you a little story. I had the privilege, probably about 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. I think it was in 2016. Had the privilege of actually in Sydney, I was living in Sydney at the stage, going and seeing Oprah live, right? And it wasn't an Oprah show. It was Oprah just on stage by herself with a couple of little photos and stuff behind her, talking about her life. And she actually said that she was the worst newsreader on earth. They, had her on stage and they had her, reading the news and stuff like that. And she was reading the teleprompter. And she actually said, and in Canada today. And she went, oh my God, sorry, Canada. So she couldn't even read Canada properly or pronounce Canada after seeing it there. She literally phonetically said it. And they were like about to fire her, but she had a contract that went on for a couple more months. So what they did was they said, look, you go and, be the interviewer on this show. It's failing badly, but we're going to run it to the end of the season. So you go and run it. And she did. And of course, it was like, she was a fish in water. She just found her niche and she was amazing. So it's like, trying to judge a fish on their skills on climbing a tree. And of course, it's never going to work. So she just went with it and she loved it and she was good and the ratings went up. So much so that they obviously decided to extend the season. But what happened in the reason why the ratings went up was the show was initially a little bit like a Jerry Springer show. And not that there's anything wrong with Jerry Springer if you like watching that, but it's not my cup of tea. But anyway, because what I found about Jerry Springer is its ratings come from bringing people down. And who wants to continually bring people down? So what Oprah did on the second show, after she had a wife come on with her husband, and her husband ridiculed the wife so much so by bringing out his pregnant girlfriend. That's the first she ever knew that he even was having an affair, let alone that the lady was pregnant. And it was just so humiliating for the wife that at the end of the show, Oprah said to her producers and to her staff, I am never going to have another show like that. That was disgusting. If you have an idea for a show, come to me and tell me what the intention behind the show is. She said, my intention is to grow people, to help them to become more of who they are. I don't want to bring people down. I don't want to humiliate them on national TV in front of millions and millions of people. I want to lift people up. So that's why her show took off, because it was different. In the 80s, there weren't many shows like Oprah's, and that's why it took off, and that's why she became the success that she is. So as I said, always look at the intent behind everything that you are listening to. Is the intent something else? or are they telling you the facts about it is? And of course, if you look at the news at the moment, it's really ideal for you to ask the question and find your answers. I'm not about to tell you what my answers are, because my answers may not be right for you. So it's really important that you actually decide what is the best way forward for you in everything that you are learning. Now, is there any questions? Because I really would love to actually just go over for the final time the 5 agreements. Write down any questions if there's anything that you'd like to ask as we go through them really quickly. My sister passed on 15th of July after a long illness. Was she abused? Is she around, or has she moved to her new place? Okay, Sonny, I don't do readings, right? But I can highly recommend a lot of people to you who could help you with that. If you want to email me or reach out to me through Messenger, okay, my email address, which I have provided before, but I'll type it again here. Reach out to me and I can recommend some people, okay? But you will be paying for their information, but you'll also be getting highly paid for. There are other people obviously on here that you could also tap into their show. But I think you already know the answer, that she's in a better place. I think you will find that she's left behind her sick body and she feels so much better. And let's face it, when we go to the other side, we're always in a better place. We're always surrounded by unconditional love. And it's just an amazing that your past loved ones will obviously be there with her, helping her to transition, helping her to move on. She may have had a shock when she went there. A really great book that I would highly recommend you read, which I found, I read it 10 years before my son passed. And when he passed, because my son passed quite suddenly, we literally thought a healthy 27-year-old had gone out the night before with his mates. And the next morning, my husband and I woke and we found him dead at our back door. So there was no illness. There was nothing. Okay, Karen. Right. But let me just finish answering Sonia and then I'll come back to you. This is why this book is going to be for both Sonny and Karen. Now, it's called Life on the Other Side, right? I'm typing it in here, by Sylvia, S-Y-L-V-I-A, Sylvia Brown. I think she's got an E on an N. There you are. So this is the book that I highly recommend that everyone reads, right? There are many, many more books after this one, but Sylvia wrote this in 2001. She was a medium. She was a clairvoyant. She wrote the book through her guides, her number one guide who had been with her whole life, and we all have them, it takes you on a journey from the time you decide to come down here, the life that you choose to live, who you want to be, the lessons you want to learn, all the way through your life until you go back and pass. I highly recommend that you read this book. It's an amazing book. It's easy to get. It's 20 years old now, but it's a great book. And if you can't get it, PM me or email me, and I'll recommend a whole lot of other books that are similar. But I found this book so amazing that when Dan suddenly passed in 2011, I bought 10 copies of it. They were $5 each. I bought 10 copies of it and I handed them to people who were having a really, really hard time with his sudden passing and weren't able to get through it. I had a girlfriend who used to babysit my kids when they were younger, and she was in shock. She couldn't get out of bed for days. And then I gave her the book and she went, oh my God, thank you. It's really helped me to get on and to move along and to live my life. So I highly recommend that, Sonny, with your sister passing so recently, less than a month ago, I highly recommend that you grab the book and read it, because it will give you an insight into what is happening in her her time at this stage. I was going to say life, and it is life. It's just it's a continuation. I know that so many people don't understand the afterlife, and it's just a veil. We shed this body, this persona, but our spirit, our soul, we lives on forever. We've had so many times. Let me take a water. I've had so much. Thank you. I've been talking nonstop for 40 minutes. So that's what I highly recommend, that you have a look into that book. And there's so many other beautiful books that are out there now that on this subject, on spirituality, understanding what happens when we do pass. And it's great that they're out and about at the moment, because when you don't fear death, life is so much easier. You just get on and you just live in the present. You're not worried about what's going to happen down the road. Hi, Kerry. Great to see you here. So that's what I highly recommend. So is there any other questions about our 5 agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz? Is there anything else that we want to discuss or talk about? Let me just come back over here and we'll just quickly go through them. So be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best and be skeptical, but learn to listen. Oh my God, just one sec. I've got someone at my door. One moment. As I said, I'm in hotel quarantine. Okay. So that was nothing. That was just some more clean towels and everything like that. But that's good. At least I know. So I'm back. Is there anything else you'd like to know? How funny was that? Anyway, you can tell I'm live, that's for sure, because I certainly would end up. So as I said, when you start to embrace these concepts, you will understand that love and loss is just even. It doesn't matter where you are, what's going on in your life. You have the learnings and the understandings to quickly move through that infinity loop so that you can actually live and love your life no matter what is going on in your life. So we're back to where I started, because we brought it up earlier today because everyone was asking about it. So the Revitalize Your Life, as I highly recommend, that you do actually start to deep dive into you, start to really love who you are and learn how to go from there. So many people on here have already done the 45-day process, and it's great that, people keep coming back. So if there's any more questions, please let me know before we come to an end today. I will be back again next Monday at my normal time. As I said, I wasn't prepared to be able to do it last Monday. And we'll go on to something else, a different topic, a different subject. For the past 5 weeks, we have been doing the 5 agreements, which I just think is a great perspective for everyone to bring into their lives. Right. Karen, do you sometimes wish your son is back on earth with you? Have you let go of that idea? I've had a separation from my own child, still very happy. Do you know what? I'm going to tell you, Karen, I'm going to be open and honest. Occasionally, I do wish that Dan was here, mainly because his twin brother and his older brother are now, are married and have their children. And, his twin brother, Josh, is just about to have his second child. His older brother has just had his first child. And it is sort of sad. And it's like, I wish that Dan could be here and, and do it. But I have learnt and grown so much with Dan on the other side that I know that if he hadn't have passed, I certainly wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. I would probably still be in my corporate life. I certainly wouldn't be as healthy as what I am now. I probably would have had some disease, a heart attack, a stroke, type 2 diabetes, because I wasn't as healthy as what I am now. So it's, as I keep saying, the gift is always in in the loss event, and I deep dive into him, and Danny's always around me. The guidance that he gives me, he literally, the ideas he puts into my head, the things that I've done, I know that I would never have done if he'd still been in this realm. So it's not an easy question to ask, because I know that that was our journey for him to pass when he did, so that I could wake up, so that I could do what I'm doing now. But I also know that I had that corporate life so that I can take these concepts back into the corporate world, so that they can start to understand who they people are, so that they can start to value all of their employees as their greatest asset, to understand that they have stuff going on in their life. And some days, they are going to be trying to do their best, but their best may not be as good as what it was on another day. Little concepts like that. And that's why I teach things like I teach now, for people to understand that we are all valuable. We're all amazing. And the more respect and love and compassion that we're shown, the better we will be. And that's one of my great things that I love to, go into businesses and help them to see this new perspective. They're whinging about people not being productive and not enough profits. But when you start to treat people differently, it's amazing what happens. Your business just thrives because of that. I hope that makes sense, Karen. And you've had a separation from your old child. So I gather your child is still in this realm. If you want to reach out, Karen, I'm happy to talk to you. I'm happy to give you some guidance on how you can make it better. But you know what I found? The more that you start to live and love your life and really honor who you are, the more example you will be for everyone else, and the more that life will just flow into ease. Now, most of you who have seen me before know that I have a daughter in Sydney. Now, my daughter Kim, I adopted out when I was 16. And it was the right choice at that time, but over the years, I've often wondered if it was the right choice and all that sort of thing. So she's been in my life for 20 years, and it's been a very up and down relationship, as you may imagine. But over the last 3 years, it has started to improve. And this is why I went to Sydney, to be with her, not realizing that they're about to go into lockdown. But I stayed 6 weeks. And the reason I stayed 6 weeks was because we could walk every day together. So we got to really know each other. Where else would I be spending 6 weeks with her full on, just totally us getting to know each other? We used to, when I lived in Sydney, we would go out to dinner once or twice a year and have a dinner, and that would be it. But every day we walked for an hour. Some days we walked for 3 hours, just talking and getting to know each other and really, really getting to know each other. So I know that, sometimes we have disagreements with people, and it can come back to that one. Let me go back to where I was, because I really would like you to really understand what this is about, because now that I've met, what's going on? It's not going to work. Right. So let me just go back here. Yes. Nope. Let me go back to this one. This one here. So don't make assumptions. Okay. Is that working, or have I lost it? Okay, have I lost it? Let me just share the screen again. Wait a sec. I'm pretty sure this will work in a sec. I gather I'm still here. Nope, I've lost it. Okay, just wait a sec. You can tell I'm live, can't you? Let me just cancel this for a second. And I'll just get this back up, and I'll from current slide. Okay, I've got it back up. Now I can come back into here. Right, this is fun, isn't it? Yep. Oh, well, this is what happens when you go live. So, and then I can go share. Okay, so don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. with just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. Now, that was our biggest problem, my daughter and I, for, let's say, 15, 16 years, maybe even 17 years. We didn't listen to each other. We made assumptions on what they said. And what we do now is we will say something and then we will say, what did you hear me say? Right? Especially if I get a reaction I didn't expect, and vice versa, because we didn't communicate as clearly as what we thought we did. I would say black and she would hear white. It was as simple as that. So I'm not saying that's what's going on with your relationship with anyone else, but what I'm saying is it really is important for you not to make assumptions, to clarify. It is so easy for us to have miscommunication between anyone, right? It doesn't matter whether it's your loved ones, whether it's a colleague or your bosses or a total stranger. So that, as it says, is with this one agreement, you completely transform your life. I highly recommend that you start to do that, because I think you'll find that you may be having miscommunication. Believe me, we did it for 20 years. And we're actually in the process of looking at writing a book together where we're going to explain the adoption, like our process, our journey is on adoption of, how we've come together and how we've come full circle, obviously. So it's really, really interesting. And yeah, Karen, we are learning so much from each other. But the most important thing is for us to communicate open and honestly, with vulnerability, to understand that I didn't give her away because I didn't want her. I gave her away out of love. Okay. So yeah, Karen, you have an adopted daughter. So you're on the other side of it. So I am more than happy. I don't know if you've read the book. I highly recommend you reading the book. It's called Primal Wound. Wound. I can't remember her name. She's got 3 names, but it's Primal Wound. I highly recommended reading that. It will help you in your journey. We wish, Kim and I read it, I think it's 2018. We wish we had it when we connected in 2001. Would have made such a difference. Of course, she's wounded. Read the book. It will really help her to come to know who she is and to love who she is. Because, it really did help my daughter, that book, as well as us reconnecting properly with each other. So that's it, everybody. This is my show for today. Reach out, Karen. Happy to have a chat with you anytime. You've got my email address here. I'll write it again. Is there any more questions before I go, everyone? Once again, obviously, I highly recommend that everyone starts to deep dive into Revitalize Your Life. And thank you, Kerry, for saying it was a great program. Because, yeah, right. Yeah, she's definitely wounded, Karen. And it's important for you to understand that. But, seriously, where are you based as well? Because I know in New South Wales that anyone affected by adoption can get free counselling, and I'm pretty sure it's probably everywhere in Australia that you can actually get free counselling, which may help you. Anyway, I have come to an end. Is there any more questions before I go? I will be back again next in Melbourne. I'm sure there will be. Free counselling there, probably with birth, deaths and marriages, if you reach out to them, which would be good for not only you but also for your daughter, because sometimes we just need someone to talk to, someone to know. How old is your daughter, Karen? Okay, rightio. Rightio, everyone. Thank you for being here. She's 20. Yeah, an age where she really is trying to find herself, who she is. Reach out to me. As I said, who knows? My daughter may be happy to speak to her. I'd have to ask her first, though. Obviously, I'm not going to just say that she will. I don't know. Righty, everyone. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to seeing you here on Monday. Bye for now.